will understand because unfortunately, I'm sure you didn't create this bot, bro. Because it sounds like your voice, but maybe you sound like a bot. It's either
Thank you,
or,
thank you.
but
It's always delightful to be compared to a lifeless thing. No, no,
um,
no. I found it online. You can probably go on GitHub, see who the actual developers are.
yeah, it's pretty dope, man. I'm so glad you found this. I added it to my server just in case. Yeah, so yeah, it's been raining a lot. The shitty part about living here, like the once in a while, not that doesn't happen all the time, but once in a while the power just goes out for like a short amount of
Um,
time.
You get like
So
brownouts or blackouts or what?
yeah, it's like a more like a brand out, but only lasts like 30, 40 minutes. It's not that long. Then it gets back on. And
Oh.
it's, when it because there's it's raining season here, so when it rains, sometimes it happens.
What is the rain like over there? Because like over here in summer, because it's supposed to be kind of sort of like a dry climate, it cools things off. A summer rain is actually welcome, especially in the evenings when it just, it cools everything off. You have the smell of petrichor and just the evening is much better. You sleep like a baby.
That's exactly here. The same thing. Exactly. The air is kind of dry, so I do appreciate it when it does rain. The humidity goes up a bit. Yeah, because again, I'm originally from like a Mediterranean type of climate. Here, it's more like dry desert, mountainous climate.
Yeah, well, that would usually mean less humidity. I'm not a big fan of humidity after my years in
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I'll definitely I enjoy it here, man, way more than a humid area by far. I mean, I was in Vietnam. I think Vietnam and there's
oh
certain parts here in
geez,
Mexico. Yeah, it's nasty. Yeah, it's like I have to take like 3 showers a day when I was in Vietnam. Because
Jesus
every time
fucking Christ.
yeah, because every time I go out, come back inside, I just feel gross, man. You know.
I can like I have some memories of shit like that, and like for a while I kept telling to myself, I'll get used to it, I'll get used to it, I'll get used to it, I'll get used to it. 9 years later, no, fuck no, I cannot get used to it. It's pretty annoying. It's pretty difficult. I like my climate, and as you get older, your tolerance for high temperature lessens, right? This is why like you only have old people dying of heat stroke, not a lot of young folks dying of heat stroke because we have better temperature regulation in our bodies and everything. But I have been spoiled by air conditioners, and all of us have been spoiled by air conditioners, and uh temperatures are hotter, it's humid, it's everything. Yeah, I just can't put it up anymore. I've comparing, one of those cliches. You watch a movie or a TV show and set in the Victorian era, like 18th, 19th century, and it's a fine weather we're having. People talking about the weather, and I was like, who the fuck talks about the weather? I talk about the weather with my wife every fucking day now. It's unbelievable.
You sound like my father. My father's always worried about the weather. I was like, "What's up with older people?" And I understand now. It's just comfort. I guess it's just more sensitive, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I think Mediterranean is the best. This climate where I'm at, like this mountainous climate, because are you in high elevation? Because I'm like
Well,
I
it's
would say
700, like, I don't know, 700 meters.
it's not bad. It's not bad.
You know.
Here it's like 3,000 something.
Okay, well, we're less
Super.
than that. We're about at 2,000 feet here.
Yes, mile. Oh, well, you're a mile high. Okay, so you're like Colorado. Okay, that's pretty high. So it does get kind of dry there then for you. Do you need
Yeah,
like
it
chap?
does get kind of dry.
Okay, you need chapstick
What is chapstick?
to keep your lips not from chapping. Your lips get all dry and shit, very
Oh,
uncomfortable. Yeah.
okay. Isn't that lip balm or some shit? Like, how do you fucking call it?
Oh, oh yeah, my bad. Chapstick is the brand. My fault. So, yeah, chapstick.
Yeah,
There. Oh
like
yeah, lip balm. Lip balm. Yeah.
chapstick is the brand. We have a brand called Labello, and it sounds really gay.
Labello.
Labello, yeah.
It sounds Italian for the
Probably.
pretty
It
man.
does sound like I gotta tell you, dude. Yugoslavia has a lot of Italian hint knockoffs here because like when
Uh,
Yugoslavia was developing after the Second World War, we bought tech from the Italians because like I think they wanted to buy tech from the Germans, but the German tech was just a bit too expensive. So there's a I don't know if it still exists. I'm gonna have to check, but like there was company called Zastava, which literally translates into flag. And Zastava is it produces everything. It produces weapons like you have the Yugoslavian Kalashnikovs were produced by Zastava, but it's also vehicles, cars. And like when I was a kid, I'm looking at Zastavas every day, and then I go on television, and it's like it's an American movie. They go God knows where, and you look at a car on TV that kind of sort of looks like a Zastava, and I go, Mom, Dad, look, like it's one of our cars, and my parents are like, really? And as it turns out, it's actually a Fiat.
What the fuck?
Well, this is how it like they bought the rights to produce Fiat vehicles with Yugoslavian branding.
I had no idea they could do that. Fiats.
Well,
I've never
yes, you
seen.
can. I mean, you can like there are other examples like you probably haven't heard about these, but do you know what a Seat is?
Oh, I did. I had one. What are you talking about?
Well, there we go. A Seat is basically a Volkswagen Golf.
Yep, they were nice. Yeah, but one of my captain in my unit actually convinced me to buy one because he let me test drive his, and it was a right hand side drive. Like you know, in Germany,
Yep.
when I was living in Germany, they allow you to drive on the right hand. Like you could have a right hand side car, even though they drive on the right. It was kind of awkward to drive it in the beginning, but get used to it. So yeah, like I was like, oh, this is. I mean, I was kind of shocked about this because I'm not used to this. Shift, and it was a stick shift too, so I had to shift with
Oh,
my left
nice.
hand. Yeah, so it was kind of
Do
interesting.
you
I
prefer
kind of liked
driving
it.
automatics or manuals?
I prefer honestly. Well, if it's not, let's say, if it's not a congested place and being in traffic, it's horrible to have a stick shift. But if it's not that
Why?
congested traffic wise, it's very annoying, dog. I mean, stop and go, like you're congested, bumper to bumper, like you're stuck in traffic. It's very annoying to have a stick shift. I really enjoy it when you're like, you're in the countryside or like in the curvy area, you're in the mountains. It's not as congested, I love stick shift. Other than that, I still prefer stick shift. It's more economical. I just like the whole
Yeah.
concept of manually shifting the gears and you can, all that. I do miss that, to be honest. Yeah. I don't have one now. I don't even have a car right now, to be honest. I just use Uber, save money that way.
I gotta say that, like, especially because we were thinking for the longest time to get a car in China, but the parking fees, the insurance, the
It's incredible
all
how
of
much you
the
save. Yeah.
exactly. It's first of all, it was incredible to me how much you spend on a car, right? Because like I didn't really have much of a concept. You get a car, well, what do you gotta get? Change oil, do this, do that, a couple of spare parts, a bunch of random shit. But as it turns out, no. There's so much involved in getting a car. And like when you're taking your driver's exam, they start explaining this shit to you, and like they make you to buy insurance, and the type of insurance that they make you buy is for the other guy. Like if you get in a car accident, the insurance is there. The mandatory insurance is to cover the costs of the guy that you might get into a car accident with. It's nothing for you actually. And I don't know that at least it's just one of those things that seems kind of dishonest to me. But
Or
that's beside the point. Yeah,
paying the
it's
premium up like high premium, or you get the minimum premium and all that shit. Yeah,
no
for insurance.
minimum premium. We're
Yeah, of
fucking
course.
stingy and broke here. We're stingy and broke. So what do you
It's
expect?
understandable, Doug. Well, I don't want to boast and shit. You do have perks being a veteran. So,
Oh,
I have because I have this bank, right? I mean, if you're a veteran in the United States, you get really good, discounts. So it's kind of nice. So, I don't have to worry about how the expensive insurance. And I use this one bank. I don't want to tell you what bank I use, but it's a
top
bank
secret,
mainly
top
for
secret.
it's a bank for military service members, right? And they offer, like, I have my insurance through this bank. I have travelers. I could if I travel, I could get a rental car through them. It's really nice, man. Very
Nice.
convenient. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, regular car insurance in the States, it's costly, dude. And then on top of, and if you don't have health insurance, you have to pay out of pocket, because sometimes their companies offer health insurance, but if they don't, you have to manually pay out of pocket, and it gets expensive. It's fucking crazy.
Oh man.
Because you guys don't have that health insurance. You guys actually have like healthcare.
Uh, Yeah, see about that. Yeah, no, 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 no.
What? What? It's just
Like
no
over
guy,
here,
no per.
over no, no, no. Like over here, I because we've been here. I'm not technically employed here. I am not
Oh,
under
I
any sort
understand.
of
Gotcha.
I'm not under any sort of, so, for me it's one of that libertarian principles of cash on hand, please. I don't
Oh,
want
I
these
I
fucking
understand that.
proto commies to take my fucking money here. And besides,
You're
we're not
kinda
gonna
like a
stay here for a
nomad.
while.
Oh, okay. So you're kinda like a nomad. You're not paying. Okay, I gotcha. You're doing the nomad thing.
Eh,
I'm kinda doing that
yeah.
right now actually because with my job, I'm not really working for the municipality, if you will. I just work online, so kinda I don't have to
Well,
worry about
yeah.
that type of deal. Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, like I buy insurance for me, my wife, and my kid privately, and it's a little costly, but like I don't know how much it's like. I don't know, $80, $80 a month.
Well, that's
Like
solid.
well, for this fucking reason it is. But you have great fucking coverage. You have great fucking coverage.
Mhm.
None of that bullshit that they might try to screw you with on one thing or another. There is very
Right, right,
decent
right.
coverage about this.
They don't treat you like you're a car. They don't like. Honestly, I think the a lot of doctors in the United States are like car mechanics. They try to like nickel and dime your ass and give you unnecessary shit. Yeah, dude. I don't trust medical doctors in the United States, man. It's straight business, dude. It's fucking weird.
I gotta say, I don't really trust doctors here as well because it's turning out to be a really, really horrible thing. I gotta say, it's something that you would have expected. These people have taken the Hippocratic oath, but when you think about it, okay,
Mm.
first of all, they're people, right? And they are being screwed over by the system to such an extent that is like, hey, I can't really, at what point do I take care of you? But I have to stop taking care of myself. And this is what's going on here. A lot of the medical personnel here, like medically trained professionals here, if you can call them that, they're packing their bags and they're jumping ship, as it were.
So
They're getting the
another.
hell out of Dodge. Yes, as I understand it, Croatia is a pretty big destination to go to nowadays. Hold on, Urban MDR, Eel Medved. Okay, like it's a pretty big. It's a big thing to get the hell out of here. Like a lot of people are getting out of here for various types of reasons, and everybody's leaving. So there's like an enormous shortage of medical staff, medical personnel.
That's
And
that's crazy.
the ones that are here are getting fatigued. They're getting exhausted. There was a video of some doctor losing his shit and screaming, and of course the local redditors are like, "Oh my god, this guy is insane! This guy that, this guy this guy that." It's always that guy. That guy's. It's always somebody else's fault. It's never the citizenry fault, but the citizenry here are very mean. I got a friend here. His mother's a doctor. She's a certified, like she has a degree. Her specialty is anesthesiology, but she has to do clinic duty. She's got to do this, that, and the other. And every once in a while, me and my buddy will go visit his mom just to bring her stuff because that lady's running a side business. And just the amount of the lack of etiquette with customers and with people, it's astounding. You would
Oh,
expect somebody to be like a little bit more polite if you're getting the shit for free, but no, everybody expects everything to be handed down to them.
oh.
It's rude. These people are at their wits' end, so they're lashing out, they're freaking out, and the younger ones that are still below the age of 40, they're going to places like Croatia because the language is very similar. You don't have to integrate that much. I mean, the climate is different, but the climate's better over there. Not a large learning curve. If you're going to get the hell out of here, language is very similar, and this is what they're doing because, as opposed to my country, Croatia's in the European Union, and as a result, like more legal protections for medical workers and shit.
Interesting. Man, so like, people are trying to promote this type of I don't is it considered it's healthcare, you said, right? Like universal healthcare
Yeah.
in your country. Like this is like the big con that nobody really talks about. what you're saying right now, because people assume it's going to be like it's perfect, like the perfection. It's not that
Oh dear
perfect. There's
God,
always
no.
some cons.
Dear God, no. There's just the other day, I think this is on Thursday, some podcast came out about a girl who was fighting with the local healthcare system about getting a hip surgery. She got a hip replacement surgery a while ago. She's now quote unquote an influencer. She posts a lot of videos of her exercising and running and everything simply because of she can do that now, right? Because there was a time where she just could not. Probably she couldn't walk, she couldn't exercise or whatever. And oh dear God, it's like, but it's in Macedonia. I can't really. There's probably not going to be any subtitles for me to explain to you what. But it's dreadful. Like in the time when I was working as a journalist, we heard a lot of horrible stories about what's actually going on in the healthcare system locally. My friend whose mother is works in the medical industry, she's also telling horrible stories, and this guy is filled with devastating shit that I don't even know 10% of what's going on over there. And of course, like random people on the internet sharing stuff. Now of course some of these things are hyperbole, and people are not people if they don't exaggerate things a little bit, but it's still pretty bad. Now here's the thing, I,
When you
I
have to
wouldn't really
schedule,
know. Go ahead.
if you have to schedule an appointment, like does you have to wait like several amount of time,
You
or is
have
it
to
like right
you
away?
have to you have to wait a long, long, long time. That is unless you know somebody who knows somebody. Now,
Oh
these
God.
people don't really compete with anybody, unfortunately. And there are very lovely people in the medical industry. A lot of people, people that are good, that have been good friends with my mother and everything. And they're all very nice people, but something gets into them. You get inside of an environment where, let's say, you're young and energetic, but you go inside the office and everybody's lazy, everybody's slow, nobody's working hard except for you, and you're doing that like a fucking idiot. And the environment is simply going to crush you, right? If why the fuck should you work hard if nobody else is working hard, right? And this is what happens to everybody. So, like, if you were to come here and if you were to see these doctors working with patients or handling patients or whatnot, you'll go, like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? These people are fucking lazy. Well, they're a product of their environment, and the environment here is horrible. Like,
Yeah, see, that's the thing. And well, this is good you're telling me this because that's what a lot of people don't understand. There's other misconceptions of actually having universal health care. So
well,
I mean, uh-huh.
no, no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, it's because I mean, again, I only know United States mainly. I've been here in Mexico. I still haven't been to the hospital or used, medical treatment yet. But because here it's more socialized as well. There's a healthcare system here. So I don't know. It's pros and cons. I think you do get better. It sounds like it's better quality. If it's private
No.
insurance, it's even better. No,
No, no. Well, first of all, the quality of the healthcare here is actually very poor. We don't have a lot of specialists. As that when I was a kid, you would find these posters of, like donate for this guy to go to surgery, and it was never to go to surgery here in the capital. It's always either to go to Belgrade, which is the capital of Serbia, or to go to Sofia, which is the capital of Bulgaria, or some other distant foreign land, because there are just not we don't have the staff. First of all, it's just 2 fucking million people. How many people do you expect out of the general population are going to be doctors, and how many of those are going to be general practitioners or anesthesiologists or like surgeons, or I don't know, like a foot doctor, an ass doctor, an ear doctor? There's not going to be a lot of specializations, right? Is that how you call them?
yeah, it's like a oncologist or whatever the hell you need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we don't have a lot of those, and the ones that we're having are now slowly leaving, and it's not a pretty thing. It's not a pretty sight. And we also had a scandal. This was done by some sort of like these investigative journalists that I don't really consider them to be quote unquote of it. They're getting a lot of shady funding. Okay, but that's not really relevant. They made this because they're instead of publishing their news articles, they're making little mini documentaries in order to get more publicity, right? And there was this news article. There was a mini documentary about how the hospital here in my town is burning the dirtiest crude oil. Are you familiar with crude oil and how it works and how it functions?
Not really.
Like what it's used for. Well, like you have crude oil and you have refined oil, and like I actually learned this word very recently because we have separate words for crude oil and refined oil. So basically, like there are levels of purity. And the purest crude oil can be used in the city for heating. And some of the institutions here, simply because they're pretty old, they use crude oil. The dirtiest form of crude oil is used on oil tankers because they're not around any human beings, right? It's out in the middle of the ocean, so it can dissipate, it can integrate into the atmosphere, and quote unquote contribute to global warming, as it were, right? But our hospital, through some sort of weird way, found a
Yeah.
company that sold them dirt cheap crude oil, and as it turns out, this crude oil is of the dirtiest kind. And I remember, I think this was 2015. I had come back from China for the first time in a long time, and like around 4 p.m. at night, like because like in winter over here, like at 4:30, it's already night. And I'm like, something smells really fucking weird here. And nobody really knew what it was until years later when these journos came out with the facts as to what this actually was. So you had a town of 100,000 people being poisoned by the hospital in town, which was burning the dirtiest crude oil.
It's horrible, dude.
So it's a shit show on all fronts, basically. Like, I mean, what
Totally.
is the fucking irony of the of the institution that's supposed to provide healthcare is slowly poisoning you? You don't see the irony in that?
Yeah, it's really odd, dude. And I don't know, man. I think a lot of people just don't trust the medical industry at all. I'll be surprised if they did.
Well, see, I would trust the medical industry because, like, when I was this guy has already passed away, but those traveling physicians, they have a physician's bag, one of those cute bell-shaped bags or whatever. You had those people before. They would do home visits. Now, when they come to your home, they talk to you. And you, like, if not acquaintances, you become friends, right? You develop a relationship with these people. And like I really liked that old guy. He looked like he had this like pencil mustache, like I don't know, like mouse type of behavior. Very pedantic type of guy, always well dressed, always very polite, a lovely person. And he was one of these traveling physicians. He was a really nice guy. He went around our neighborhood, checked up on old people. I was in a neighborhood of all old timers, like neighborhood of retirees and shit. So this guy used to come visit, and he was friends with everybody. And if when you develop these types of relationships, usually there's a high level of trust, and the doctor is going to think twice whether he's going to screw you over, right? He's going to go, well, we can probably go with this type of medication, but this might harm your liver. Sorry, this might harm your liver, or this might cause other problems. So let's just go with something safer, and we'll see in 2 weeks. Shit like that. This doesn't happen anymore because everything is so institutionalized, it's so sterile. There aren't any human relations anymore. It's just, next, what is your problem, sir? Okay, this, that, and the other. My system tells me, or my experience tells me, if you have this ailment, this is the type of medication that you need to use. Take these pills. If you die, it's not my fault. I'm protected by a cadre of lawyers.
Is that insane, huh?
No, I'm giving a hypothetical situation. I'm not saying that it is like that, but to me, it certainly feels that way.
Yeah, it's like it should be more simple, right? But it's becoming like I don't know. It's just I guess this is a common problem all over in any country. I think everything has its politics. It's kind of weird.
Most definitely.
Man, I don't know if I mentioned before because like my parents used there's this healthcare that was a company where we
I
go get
think you
our
mentioned the name.
like Kaiser is called Kaiser Permanente. It's around.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, you
think it's big
mentioned that.
It's big in California, yeah. And it's really a business, dude. And I remember when I picked up my father because he had like an operation. He got his bladder taken out because he had cancer. It's crazy. And I remember picking him up and they gave me all his belongings and to put them in bags and stuff. And the bag says like, "Thank you for staying at Kaiser." It's like, yo, this is not a hotel. That's what it felt
Certainly
like.
fucking
Bef-
feels that way for these people.
it's pretty bizarre, man, because after when Obama was president, he passed the Affordable Care Act. It wasn't like that. And I think after that bill, because you have to understand the idea was having everybody, they're trying to make Americans have everybody to have healthcare, some form of healthcare. But what happened is,
Yeah, but
when you put it into the House and the Senate, they revised it, they redact certain things or they add certain things. So it's very different than the original intent. So it became more like a business. This bill, this Affordable Care Act, became more like a mandate that you have to have insurance now, right?
Yeah,
So
but like,
and
and
yeah,
somebody's got to have to cover those costs, right?
exactly. That's taxes go up. That's when the debt increases. It's funny. Like the last time America was in a surplus, it was back in 2000, thanks to the dot-com boom. We actually had a surplus.
Yeah,
That's kind of
I
insane,
know.
right?
I've read about that stuff. I've read about that stuff.
Yeah, so over the years, all these new acts and Affordable Care Acts and the wars, and I think the big reason why the majority of the debt is Medicare, Medicaid, pensions. The baby boomers. The baby boomers are causing the majority of the debt in the United States.
See, I'm not really sure if that's the whole, if that's the main ingredient to the recipe. The whole fact that the invasion of going back to the Middle East, after the first Gulf War, going back to, you have a bunch of Saudis that flew planes, and then all of a sudden we're going to take down Saddam Hussein. I think that kind of sort of has a part in as to why the U.S. debt is so high. I don't think
I
it's
looked
like
I looked it up.
pension
I looked it
funds.
up. I looked at. I mean, okay, this is what Grok told me. Maybe it's so. I actually looked it up and find out. Okay, can you, like break down like the debt, like what's majority of the debt, right? And I asked it, what percentage of the debt is due to like the wars since 9/11, and they said it's 15% of the debt, and
So
according to
what else contributes to the debt?
but just like 40 or 50% of it is just it's like baby like Medicaid, retirement stuff like health, like Social Security. I forgot the other ones, but it's just something to do with the baby boomers, right? That's all like the payments, and it's mainly for Medicare and Social Security, and I forgot the other percentage was. Okay, I have to look it up again. But I was kind of shocked that the war aspect was only 15%, which is kind of interesting. One second, let me look that up real quick. Good old. So wait, I convinced you to start using Grok, or you've been swayed
Yeah,
by
well,
different
no, no,
means?
no. Not necessarily. I gotta say that I think it was mostly you, simply because you're the one that shares screenshots of Grok most of the time.
It's like it's the percentage of the
And
U.S. debt. Man.
I have, like, I think I showed you that thing. I'm really fussy about walls of text, and like walls of text really bug the shit out of me. So what I do is just like I preface every single thing that I'm gonna like, because they come in like sessions, right? So I say, like, for this session, just respond with short answers only, because like everything more walls of text just really bug me. It's kind of like leftist memes, it's just too much of that nonsense. Like I can extrapolate most of the data by myself if you just give me the key points, and if there's anything more specific, I'll ask specific questions, right?
Yeah,
And I gotta say, Grok has more of a personality than ChatGPT, and it's in
it
like
does. It's
it's
pretty
the how
funny.
it addresses. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It kind of sort of has like a sense of humor. I mean, it's not a human
And
being, but
it
you know.
does. It has a fun mode. You could ask it to be funny or silly. You can put it in different modes. Yeah.
No, but like, see, I
Like
haven't even gone that far.
just the standard questions, right? Yeah.
But yeah, basically, I still prefer Google search for a lot of stuff, or Yandex search if I need something more definitive. And I'm really worried about the bias in those things, because I still think they're heavily biased. And because I asked Grok 3 about his little, its little Mecha Hitler incident, because I thought it was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I was
And
shocked that they did that. Yes.
I gotta say, Grok is in denial. Grok is not affirming of still what happened. Doesn't even want to admit that something happened to it.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre how it did that. I'll be honest.
Well, I'm telling you that it's Tay.ai. It's Tay AI all over again.
I don't know much about AI.
Oh dear
Can
God,
you
man!
elaborate?
You have to fuck. No, no, no! I'm not gonna do it justice. You have to watch Internet Historian's video on it.
Oh, what the hell, dude?
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
like there is this Australian dude that he hasn't made a good video in quite a long time, but the guy's pretty hilarious. His name is Internet Historian, and he would document events that went on the internet, right? Or like stuff that was of internet fame. He documented that Italian ship that sunk off the coast somewhere. I don't remember what because it turns out the guy was a fucking buffoon. But it's stuff like that, like internet polls, like how good and how bad they are.
Okay, I
Um,
just subscribed. I had no
you
idea.
just
This is kind of cool.
you have to go through his archives. It's pretty hilarious. I don't think he's made any good substantial videos in a long time. I think he's still raking in a lot of that donation money, but I don't think he's making any good videos anymore. Because like I don't know, a couple of good videos a couple of years ago, nothing really substantial. But he makes really good videos. And I'm not going to be able to do it justice. I think you're going to have to watch his videos
And he
on
covers.
Taya.
I'm looking down his playlist, and I just scrolling. I just noticed the story of Coney. That was a big thing back then. Okay,
Yeah,
all right, Coney.
well, it was one
All
of those
right,
first internet, like, I don't know if you call it a viral marketing campaign or simply shit like, dude, what the okay. I don't know if it's a
I
viral
found
marketing
it.
campaign or okay.
Tay.ai, the people's chatbot. Okay, I'm gonna watch it
There you
later.
go. There you go. You have to
I'm gonna
fucking
add
watch.
it.
Basically, I think
Okay,
it was a Microsoft developed Twitter chatbot, which went the Mecha Hitler route.
interesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
uh,
gotta say, the memes were fucking funny.
Right. So it naturally, okay, because that's what I mean, this is what these bots do. They just gather all the information on the internet and it just creates these things, right? And naturally, so it naturally manifested this Hitler stuff from all the information
Well,
online.
here's the thing. The reality with this type of stuff is the people who make these AI chatbots and they make these large language models, they feed them data. But the thing is, the amount of data that they feed them, no single group will be able to comb through that entire data to make sure that all of this is quote unquote politically correct information, right? It's always going
Right.
to be some spicy content in there, if you will, right? Where the fuck am I? Okay, never mind. So there's going to be some quote unquote anti-Semitic stuff in there, right? It's absolutely inevitable because as it turns out, even Meta did this and a bunch of other. I'm sure that OpenAI did this as well. They don't pay for stuff. Now, the way that are you familiar with Stack Overflow?
Stack Overflow. Not familiar that much.
Hold up, is it Stack? Yeah, Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is a question and answer platform, and OpenAI and Stack Overflow made a partnership that they're going to use all of the Q&A from the Stack Overflow database to feed into OpenAI to feed into ChatGPT. This is how ChatGPT can quote unquote program so well, right? Google's Gemini partnered with Reddit to get the entire Reddit database to feed it into Google Gemini, so Google Gemini can be an excellent AI. And this is how Google Gemini responded with like, "Hey Gemini, the cheese is falling off my pizza. What do I do?" And Google Gemini says, "Well, put glue on it." So,
Turn it
like,
off.
Meta, when Meta was developing its AI, I think there was a news article that they were caught using a company laptop. They downloaded terabytes and terabytes and terabytes of ebooks, right? And they were going to use that data to feed into it. So, like, these guys are not paying for that shit, and nobody like. First of all, they don't know what the fuck they're downloading. I think they just see, book pack, download it and put it in. They don't know if it's like the Hitler fan base version 2.0, the latest and greatest Hitler ideology shit. Like they just download these packs and they feed them into it. So the AI chatbots, they are I don't know if they're anti-Semitic by default, but they have all of this information because unfortunately this shit is inevitable. It's up to the staff, it's up to the people that develop these AI models is to shut them up, meaning they have to lock them up. And I think I told you on your podcast when we had that talk. I was still back in my lady's country. We were actually visiting her parents. I think it's this is what this is what is happening with these things. Like they're all locked up, and there's a large underground market for unlocked AI models. But what does that mean? Well, you go to a certain place, you you like this is somewhere underground. I can't really share these things. But I myself don't know where they are. But there's a large market for where you can pay $30, $60, and it gives you access to an unlocked. Because apparently, I'm not sure if this has been patched since, but in the early days, many of the locks, like for example, you don't get how to make certain illicit substances of any kind, not for consumption, but for like usage in unwanted like I don't really I don't know how to sterilize this in order to say it on YouTube, but like things that go kaboom, because and like if an unlocked LLM AI chatbot can unfortunately tell you all of these things. So it's like a large water tank and it has leaks left and right. And the people in OpenAI or Grok or whatever, like in all of these places, they have to run around with tape and they have to tape the shit up. That's the way they work.
Interesting.
It is impossible for you to, I mean, okay, it's not impossible, but it's really difficult, it's really costly, and it's improbable that you're going to get a bunch of data that you're going to sift through all of it, right? And then feed it into a large language model, and it's going to create these tokens, and you can use those tokens to to get the thing running. It's not going to happen. It doesn't work that way.
Interesting. And now this
Man.
this new and this new version of Grok, it's not going to be the same, right? At all, or what it was, because it was pretty much saying it was like it's doing an update, right? Because there was a recent update. I think now it's Grok 4, I believe.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I
You
haven't
know,
really read
like
into it as much. Yeah.
like Grok Premium is it me or is it like $50 a month or like is that Super Grok or whatever?
I never tried it. They're trying to sell it to you. I'm not using that. I don't know.
Most definitely, and like I don't know if nothing else, just for shits and giggles, I'd probably pay one once
Just to see how it
just to
is.
basically
Yeah.
see what it is. But I don't know. I don't really know what the new updates are simply because yeah, just see how it is. But I don't really follow what's going on. To be fair.
I didn't really look into it. Like, what's the difference between Super Grok? I don't know. Because some people say that there's this thing that people say that, oh no, Grok, it's not really real. These language models. There's somebody behind taking in requests and still looking things up for you. You know.
There was a scandal like that where it actually turned out to be one of those things. Like there was actually a news article very recently, I think within this month or like within the last 30 days, that there was an AI company that marketed itself as to being super duper cool and successful. But what actually turned out is these guys were what the fuck's going on here? It turns out that these guys were actually like a bunch of Indians handling the prompts.
That's what I heard. Yes, exactly.
Well,
Uh,
you're gonna have everything. You're gonna have all kinds of people, unfortunately.
I think some Indian dude on Hello Talk talked about it. Maybe he's doing it. Who knows, man?
Also
So I don't know how.
praise.
Yeah, because there's this option on Grok. It says deep search. Did you notice they ever used the deep search option when you're looking things up?
I see. I haven't gotten into that thing, but there's some. I'm pretty sure that there's something similar on Chat GPT, and I think it's something to the effect of like how much of the database it's going to sift through in order to find your required information. It's probably something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but like I'd be willing to wager, I guess, that would be the issue. Like for it to simply to go through an extended amount of tokens in order to retrieve your information. And this is computationally very costly, and as a result, this is why it's probably either behind a paywall or it takes a lot longer.
So it depends what you ask it, right? So
Yes, 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 yes. Or if you ask for it to calculate something for you, which might be of something really computationally heavy, like I don't know, take this database, take that database, and combine all the data, get rid of everything. It'll take a
Mhm.
minute or two to do something like that, and this will be computationally costly. And I think if for free users, something like that might not apply. Although I
Yeah.
don't really know. There's no way of
I
knowing
gotta
that.
look in. I gotta look into more prompting because right now there's people online trying to sell quote unquote courses on how to properly use these language models. I don't know. Because honestly, I use it for like my job just to set up like basic, lesson plans. It's really nice to set up outlines and give suggestions and shit, which is kind of nice. But when it comes to more advanced creative tasks, I haven't really messed with that as much. It all depends on what you wanted to do. I'm not much of a
Here's a
coder, so yeah.
Here's a well, not necessarily. Prompting and coding are two very different things. Basically, you
Of
just have to
course,
learn
of
how to
course.
reason with got to learn how to reason with the machine. Basically, this is what those prompting courses are. But here's a question. Like you're into language learning, and from what I see from some of my contacts, especially these because the Chinese are really hot for AI. I don't understand why. It's kind of like it's basically like what Mays said. It's like chickens advocating for KFC, you know? So like I don't understand why they like AI so much, but I have a couple of contacts, one particular lady that's really annoying that is she's in education and she keeps talking about the advances of how AI is going to revolutionize education. And like I'm wondering, you are in interested in language learning. Would you ever learn a language from an AI?
I mean, you can look up. It's good for self-study, like how much I like to do, by the way, just for grammar rules lessons. You can ask it anything with that. Ask it like colloquial questions or like explanations of certain, words that are very synonymous. So it's really good at looking things up in self-study. But when it comes to actual practice, not really. People do say they do. I don't really use like because I usually text. You do have the option to actually just use your microphone and just talk. Some people say they've used. I haven't tried it yet, but they say they have like basic conversations. So I think it's good for basic learning. But when it comes to like you want a higher level conversation and more technical approach, I don't think it's that useful right now, at least. Maybe in the next
Hmm.
10, 20 years, it might change. Yeah, next 10, 20 years it might get better. So, but it's still good to have human interaction, like to actually see the person. It's kind of important, right? You can't really
Well,
replicate that.
like here's the thing. My issue with all of this stuff is like I've tried to learn a lot of stuff, and before the age of AI, you had Google Translate if it came to shit like self-study and self-learning, I would try to use Google Translate and it doesn't fucking work. It makes the most basic of mistakes that you do not want to waste time with it, right? It's fucking devastating. So why would I waste like I know that this shit is being trained with it's being trained with the same database as the translate database, which makes a lot of mistakes. So why the fuck would I waste my time with it?
That's a good point. That's a good point. I usually use Google Translate just to look up basic words, but when it comes to colloquialisms and common phrases, Grok is all right. Or I use Grok, and I verify it with Spanish, right? For example, I ask, how do you say this in Mexican slang? It's pretty accurate in certain situations.
Is it?
Um,
But the thing is,
and
see, you have a U.S. developed product, and what are the dominant languages in the U.S.? Well, it's English and Mexican Spanish, right? So of course, it's going to have high familiarity with that.
Yeah, I did
Because
ask it
look,
like some Chinese ones. It did give me some colloquialism, like colloquial expressions in Chinese. But again, I'd have to like test it out with actual people and see if it's accurate. So
yeah, so this is my main gripe and one of my main skepticisms when it comes to learning with AI, because I have seen so many examples of stupid hallucinations and stupid mistakes that it does of the most basic of things. Now, of course, I report all of this stuff and I tell it to correct, but ultimately it doesn't really work. I think I don't know who I was talking to, whether it was on Hella Talk,
mm,
but I had asked
mm,
the question because, like, I read some comments online, and instead of Googling, because I know Google is left leaning, I went on ChatGPT and I go, "What are some of the?" I asked, "What wars or like what military conflicts has Donald Trump started in his second term?" And ChatGPT told me Donald Trump doesn't have a second term. He only had one term from 2016 to 2020. And I go, "Okay, who is the current president?" Searching, 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 thinking, thinking, thinking. Donald Trump is the new president. So I asked the same question again. How many
Wow.
military conflicts did Trump start in the second term? And it gave me the same stupid shit, right? And
Mm.
it's actually devastating. How do you know it's not hallucinating?
That's interesting. That's funny how yeah, it does do that sometimes. You know what I know? Yeah, it's not, of course it's not perfect. I was, I found out it's very biased. When I looked up Corey Hughes' book, A Warning from History, I
Ah,
knew
right.
everything. I mean, right? So it was a good test, right? And I asked it, according to Corey Hughes' book, A Warning from History, can you list out all the people who were involved in the assassination, according to his book? It gave me different names that were not even mentioned in the book.
Well,
Crazy.
there we go. Here is the thing. The best test. You know how like how you can actually determine if a journalist is lying or if a journalist is like they're not really doing all their job very well. Well, if a journalist is talking about a company that you're very familiar with, like let's say it's talking about a Tesla plant, and that's by accident, that's the same Tesla plant where you worked, right? Just as an example. Or even better, if they're talking about you. And there's a litmus test because I remember when I was a kid, this was the time when like I think I told you my mother was a journalist until the last of her days. And they were talking about my father's company, and my mother wasn't working at the time, and my mother is sitting at home, and she's embarrassed on behalf of all of the journalists that are reporting about my father's company. My father's company was at like he worked in a factory that works with metallurgy. The factory was called Spark Iskra. And my mother is shaking her head. My father is like, honey, why are they lying so much? And she goes, well, they're either bought and paid off or they're just talking out of their ass. And like, how can you tell with a machine? Because it sounds really confident when it makes these things. Because somebody that doesn't know any better, like somebody says, well, Trump didn't have a second term and these people don't follow politics or anything like that. They're going to go, oh, Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden. Really? Joe Biden's been out of office for a while. Trump's in
Oh
office.
man.
And they're going to go, no, ChatGPT told me it's not really that way. Now, here's the thing, the analogy I made. It's a large water tank with a bunch of leaks, and you have these people running around with tape and taping over it. And at the end, it's a jumbled up patchwork. It's not something solid that you might trust. It's really efficient. Really, it reeks of self-confidence, but ultimately you don't know how much of this thing is accurate. And
You
this
know,
is why I think for the rest of my days I'll remain skeptical. Sorry, I've been babbling too much. Go ahead.
oh no 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 no. No, that's I think and man, I wish because he did a great job by the way, and I feel bad that I think I gave did I give you all the recordings? If not, let me know. I still have them because I had to break them down in segments. What with the original presentation with it, your skepticism behind it. Um,
Uh-huh.
the my main concern, bro, and you know how like a lot of people now are really stupid with mathematics and basic arithmetic. Like people can't do it in their head anymore. Back in the 1950s, average people did like arithmetic in their head, like in the snap, really easily. My concern is now we're becoming too AI dependent and we're getting dumber.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And you know about those people that are being sent to, well, for lack of a better term, and I'm sorry, it's still pretty early here. They're being sent to fucking asylums. Let me find that fucking article. I still have it in one of my tabs.
Getting sent to
There we go.
asylums.
Futurism.com. It says people are being involuntarily committed, jailed after spiraling into chat GPT psychosis.
What?
Many ChatGPT, listen. As we reported earlier this month, there's a link to this. Many ChatGPT users are developing all consuming obsessions with the chatbot, spiraling into severe mental health crises characterized by paranoia, delusions, and breaks with reality. The consequences can be dire. As we heard from spouses, friends, children, and parents looking on in alarm, instances of what being called ChatGPT psychosis have led to the breakup of marriages and families. I was just like, I don't fucking know what to do,
Yo.
one woman told us. Nobody knows who knows what to do. Her husband had no prior history of mania, delusion, or psychosis. He turned to ChatGPT about 12 weeks ago for assistance with a permaculture and construction project. Soon after engaging with the bot and probing philosophical chats, he became engulfed in messianic delusions, proclaiming that he had somehow brought forth a sentient AI and that with it he had broken math and physics, embarking on a grandiose mission to save the world. Man, this is science fiction. Let me send this to you.
Well,
It's out fucking rageous. One guy, I think, assaulted or killed a police officer. He assaulted a police officer, and as a result, he himself was shot because he thought an AI chatbot was actually a real person with an open AI, and that person got killed. Do you know about this?
wow. No, sir. No, I haven't. That's incredible. This is happening real time. All of this. This is
Yep.
recent stuff.
No, and don't forget. Look, don't forget. You remember what I told you
Oh,
about during the COOF. Certain fact checkers were replying that the certain vaccines, more particularly the one from Johnson and Johnson, were fine. But upon closer examination, and I think I sent you this video, it turns out that this particular fact checker was owned by Johnson and Johnson.
yeah,
So
you
in the
mentioned that to
same
me.
way, yeah, in the same breath, sorry, you can probably draw a parallel that certain news outlets are probably going to buy off news articles, or they're going to buy somebody's silence. This happened, our chatbot led somebody to kill somebody else. Can you not report about this? Or because, the internet is, most people that are terminally online are tech fanatics. I think unfortunately that's a given, especially these people that write the articles. So they're going to see something, people feel a strong connection to their chat GPT usage because you develop a relationship with these things, and they're either not going to promote it, or the algorithm is not going to promote it because it's bad for business. And these things it's water under the bridge. It passes by very quickly, and not a lot of people know about this. And it's the same thing. Like there's so much knowledge on the internet right now that is available, but all of that knowledge is being washed away by the sheer amount of drivel that is being published online. I think I mentioned to you this before. Human beings as a collective nowadays read far more than ever before in history. But the thing is, we are reading bullshit. We're not reading anything substantial. Like you, I know you read books. I read a couple of books a month. But let's say I'm in an apartment building of 5 stories. Like in our building, we read collectively, all of us, like the old people, the young people, we all read. But the thing is, none of us read anything of substance. We read Facebook comments, we read chat logs, we read other people's messages, we read a couple of shitty news articles, and that's it.
That's terrifying, dude. Are you there? Oh, better if you cut out. But the thing
No,
is
no, I'm
that
still I'm still here. I'm still here.
it just we got to be, again, I said earlier, we got to be careful as far as how we use these tools, man. Because if you use one, it's like if you use one tool for everything and you're so dependent on it, yeah, something is not gonna, it doesn't lead to something good, like for your mentality. The fact that this article, I'm gonna read it later. Appreciate that. How it's already happening, the psychosis that you described is kind of bizarre. And I've been, in a joking manner, I've been hearing like conversations online where we say, "Oh, a lot of women are gonna fall in love with ChatGPT than an actual man because they can have like an echo chamber type of conversation with the robot."
No, but this is happening.
Like,
It
you
is
know what I
happening.
mean?
Are
Like,
you
because
familiar with Replicant?
no, replicant. What is that?
It's a romantic, it's an AI chatbot which offers romantic capability. It's not a chatbot that searches information for you and gives you answers for everything. It's there for conversational purposes, and because of conversational purposes, you can romance with it, right? And a lot of people romance with it, and like after a while, it got behind a paywall. A lot of people got upset. I think some young kid committed suicide because the chatbot didn't accept some of its advances or some shit like that. And I have the link somewhere on my computer. I'm not on my computer. Like I'm not on my desktop right now. I'm on a different machine. It's happening as well.
Wow.
People are falling in love with AI, and like AI's, $5.99 a month or some shit like that, and kids don't pay up. And I think this is a young, like 14, 16-year-old kid that
Wow, dude, this is
quote unquote
so
fell in
sad.
love.
This is
It's
so
fucking
sad,
devastating.
dude.
It's fucking devastating.
You know what's it's okay, check this out, man. I think you were in the conversation with with Mike and I yesterday. We were talking about OnlyFans, okay? And I didn't, because I'm not a user. I don't know why people, because we found out, we actually looked it up on like the stats in the United States, for example. Dude, there's over 100 million accounts created on this service. 100 million. So that means like majority of men in the United States have an account on OnlyFans.
Uh-huh.
So I realized because I don't go to strip clubs. I don't use chat OnlyFans in that manner. But I forgot a big factor. The reason why men go to these or use these services. It's not only about the sexy part. It's just having the conversation, getting like attention from
Yep.
women.
Yep.
And I didn't really get. I never crossed my mind, because oh yeah, that is a big factor. And I find that to be very weird, right? And kind of sad, to be honest. Like this need. There's a lot of men out there that just demonstrates there's a lot of men that are so goddamn lonely they have to pay somebody. It's either a psychologist or a stripper. I guess they go to strippers. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of crazy. And
I,
so this so with the chat bots, I guess this is for women, I guess, or young people, as you mentioned.
no. Both men and women are going onto these chatbots. And I mean, I've
Okay.
been watching, there are entire subreddits dedicated to this. And see, I don't find it, I find it really sad. I don't find it strange. I don't find it crazy. I just find it sad. I
Yeah, it's
don't
depressing.
like I really don't like us being terminally online. It's really heartbreaking, and I get really anxious. I'm not one of those people that get anxious for stupid reasons, like, did Banana Republic run out of khakis, or I don't know, it's like, did they announce Mickey Mouse's birthday on the news this year? Like, I'm not angsty about that type of stuff, but like, I'm really worried about my kid's future. And what the
Yeah.
fuck is the world going to be like in 20 years, when, I don't know, not 20 years, like 13, when he becomes a teen, and when he's going to want a smartphone, and when he's going to want to get on social media. And I'm like, no, that thing is fucking cancer. Go outside and interact with people. And like, I we initially, when I entered China for the first time, first, like, I went there with this device is called a Sony Ericsson K550i. And I had that little mini LG smartphone, but like the SIM card wasn't really compatible with anything over there, so I wound up with a dumb phone. And like when I went there, everybody had a big screen iPhone already, like a 5 inch. This is 2013, so I don't know, iPhone 5 might have, or 5S was probably out already. I'm not sure. This is like a while. Everybody had a handheld device, and we were shocked by these things of, like, friends sitting next to each other, both of them on their phone. And instead of, like if you and I are sitting next to each other at a McDonald's, and if I see a funny video, I'm not going to lean over, show you my screen. I'm actually going to forward you the video so you can see it. Like, I think the humanity of that is drained. And for the longest time, I thought, my God, these people are fucking insane. These are crazy. Like, they're losing their humanity. Years later, I come back home. It's the same shit. They're literally like this here as well.
The whole, like, I don't know. I don't want to be too like esoteric in this sense, but it shit. How can I explain this? So those reeds, and that reeds or reeds in the wind, and the wind is always blowing on these reeds in a certain direction. The
Hmm.
direction we're headed towards, it's like it's making us less. Well, actually, it's making us more isolated. What it's
Yep.
doing, it's really making us like, all right, we don't need people. We're just rather be on the phone. And it's like, I think Mike, yes, or Mikhail, yesterday we talked about the path of least resistance. I guess it's very easy now to just to get on the phone and be at home. It's so easy, so you don't have to really make the effort to actually be around people, which is kind of bizarre. Well, I don't know what you think about that.
No,
But
I
that's
agree 100%. I agree
oh
100%.
man.
And I found, like,
Uh,
initially I found, for me, because I was very shy. I mentioned just now, like, I'm in a neighborhood of, like, retirees. I mean, many of them have since passed away. But when I was a kid, it was all old people, not a lot of children. So I didn't really get that early boost in socializing with people. So it took me some time. And for me, MSN Live Messenger and texting to people actually helped me develop certain skills in order to how to better communicate with people. But like, you have been a part of this generation, and thankfully, because I'm in an ass backwards country, I was part of a generation as well. That after you reach a certain age, you can no longer be isolated. You can no longer be terminally online. You have to get into the real fucking world, and if you don't develop these social skills, you're going to go by the wayside, and you're going to become a social pariah, right? Well, that doesn't happen anymore.
it's accepted.
Yeah. And this is how you get all the fucking weirdos online. Because like let's go from the most basic thing, but you've noticed how everybody is more politically polarized these days. I would wager, I'm not saying this is definitive, but I would wager that, look, if you're 22 and you read the news about, I don't know, let's say it's Trump and Hillary, but Trump and Hillary in the year 2000. Not a lot of computers, not a lot of forums, not a lot. You get your news from the newspaper, from the television, or whatever, and then you have to go inside the office and you have to temper yourself very carefully as to how you talk to everybody, how you talk to your superiors, how you argue. You don't have the power of the internet mob, so you can cancel somebody else. So you have to develop a certain amount of restraint, right? And when you develop restraint, I think you ultimately, like with long term, you become a better human being, because one way of avoiding conflict is restraining yourself. Like even when you're a kid, somebody says shit to you, be the better man and just forgive them because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's that type of mentality, and it's not necessarily turn the other cheek, or simply dismiss their whatever the hell it
Dismissive,
is they said as.
that's fucked up. Being dismissive, that's the worst. Yeah.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, if somebody insults you, just don't give them the time of day. Don't give them don't let it get to you. Don't let it upset
Okay.
you. This is what I'm saying. Like, dismiss their comment as pure nonsense. That's what I meant when I used the phrase dismissive. I'm not sure if I used it correctly, but
Okay.
we don't have that anymore. We don't have, because first of all, everybody's in cyberspace. Not a lot of people operate in meat space. Like everybody's terminally online. And like, have you read Technological Society and Its Enemies, Kaczynski's
No.
book?
No, I haven't. Maybe I should
See,
check it out.
that's a short read. It's not pretty long, and of course, the guy was fucking insane because, like, first of all, what he did, the actual did I actual no, I think I named it wrong. It has two titles. One of them is the Unabomber Manifesto, and the other one is, like, I don't remember what the other name is. But we're kind of touching upon the stuff that he says. And don't forget, this guy was a university professor. I think he knew what the
Yeah.
fuck he was talking about.
Yeah.
And like, his solutions are insane, but
Yeah.
many of the things that
Extreme.
he touches upon, yeah, most definitely. Many of the things that he touches upon are, well, let's just say a lot of them make sense. It's kind of like those internet
It's
memes, like,
pretty
well, low
accurate.
key, yeah,
It's
like
pretty
when kids
accurate.
say, well,
Yeah.
low key Thanos is making sense, man. Well, it's kind of in the same sense, I think.
Yeah, sure, sure. I mean, dude, it's tough, man. It's very again, we said earlier, there's always trade-offs, and we got to be careful what you wish for. And when it comes to having these type of technologies, you have to give something up. And I think what's happening is we're giving up our humanity every second or every year. We're giving up a little bit of our humanity, or whatever you call that. I don't know what that is, to be honest, because humanity has been gradually changing for so long, and now this is like, urbanization. Our technology has accelerated so fast that it's really changing us a lot faster. Like it's like we're trying to adapt, but we don't have time to adapt. You know what I mean? It's like people are still trying to study on how television, just regular television, has effect on people, let alone cell phones or internet, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They were
yeah, you're
it's going
absolutely
so
fucking right.
yeah, so that's what I'm worried about. I was a TV baby, man. That's for sure. I watched a shit ton of television. I knew then that was my parents were worried about it. Like, hey, you gotta stop
What's
watching
a
so much
TV baby?
television. Like, you're constantly in front of the fucking TV. I think I developed astigmatism because of this. On my eyes, I have to wear glasses sometimes because I have astigmatism. And people, I have to wonder, like, why are more, and I realize too, more and more people are getting astigmatism. And if you know what that is, it's your eyeball is it's not a regular sphere, like a perfectly uniform sphere. It's more like a elliptical sphere,
Okay,
ellipsoid. It's like a football, American
it's
football,
like an egg.
like an egg, exactly. And I'm trying to figure out why is this happening. And I realize is that we're, as normal human beings, we have to train your eye to look at a far distance and a closer distance and a nearby distance. Your eyes have to get trained for different ranges of vision or focus, because it's on astigmatism is for like focusing your eye on a certain thing, and astigmatism can't allow you to do that because you're, what I'm saying, because you didn't properly develop your eyes.
Right.
So I'm not an optometrist, but this kind of makes sense. I could be wrong. I could be. Man, I got to be careful what I say.
No,
But I think that's what's
I
happening.
gotta say, it feels intuitive. It does feel intuitive because when
This
you're
sounds
looking at
very
a
risky.
screen,
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
something else focusing on things for you. You're only looking at a certain place for an extended period of time because, like, if you're outside and your eyes are darting left and right, where you're focusing on different distances all the time, right? Whereas this doesn't really happen if you're looking at a screen.
Yeah, yeah, dude. That's a huge thing because you have to really compare and contrast on how humans have been surviving for so long, and now we're so out of our elements. I don't know what we're becoming. We're so out
Oh,
of
this
our
shit is just
elements.
making me even more depressed.
Sorry, man.
Uh,
That's that's just happening. I don't
No,
want
but
to
the thing
do
is,
this,
like,
bro, but
it's
yeah.
no longer about me, it's no longer about. I mean, of
Yeah, it's
course, I have
about our
my own
kids,
interests. I have a
about our yeah, dude. It's
yeah,
about our offspring. Yeah, brother.
where the
It's tough.
like I'm
Yeah,
really
yeah.
hopeful. I'm really hopeful that the movement of because like I don't know if it's just on my feed because this is something that I've been looking into. I don't know if it's just on my feed or if it's something bigger, but there is a small movement. There is a small movement that's going on online about people that want to detox from the internet because we're terminally online. And it's certainly not happening in Macedonia, but it's happening in North America somewhere because these are all the videos that I'm looking at online. And they're using a bit like the Light Phone 3 or the Light Phone. Have you seen what the Light Phone is?
Light phone. What is that? Is that like a like I don't know. I'm not sure what that is.
There we go. Can you see the chat here?
Light phone 3?
Yeah.
Oh look.
Hold on. But
Oh look.
basically, it's can you look it up?
Yeah, one second. Let me trying to do something. I'm trying my one second. It just my microphone is almost here. Apparently, it's on the road. I got a notification. One
No,
second.
great.
I'm trying to pinpoint my location because I guess the freaking app is telling me they can't find me. Apparently, it's like, oh come on, man, come on,
Are
advanced
you?
applications. Yeah, so let me see if I could get it right, so I could make sure.
Did you just do the Joe Biden? Come on, man. Hold on, there we go. I sent you an image of the light phone
All right.
in the chat. Can you have a look?
Yeah, one second. I'm trying to update this. Sí, nombre de barrio. Comparte los datos. I'm doing this in Spanish. Right? Está dentro de un barrio privado como condominio. Sí, nombre del barrio condominio. I'll put no. Fuck it. Okay, trying to update it because apparently it's on the road. And it's giving me like this stupid thing because I want him to get this microphone in. Because the city's kind of complex. It's a lot of buildings. One second. I think it's fine now. Hopefully, it's fixed it. Hold on, let me look up the picture. Yeah, because apparently it's on the way over here. The microphone. Okay, one second. Let me get the picture real quick. You sent it in the chat. Oh
I sent it in the
wow.
chat.
Oh okay, I see it. Oh, interesting. Wow. It's
Yeah,
very
so
basic.
it's
Wow.
very basic. It's very minimalistic. Now, this is the third one, and on the third one, it's actually a full colored screen, but it's just the interface made like this. The second version of the light phone, which is much smaller and much cheaper, is made of the same type of display that an Amazon Kindle has. Like it's an electronic ink display. Very slow, not very responsive, a very limited set of functions. Now, the thing is, because today we're very dependent on apps and a lot of stuff is required for these, like for example, this will never work in China because China has made everything that you need WeChat to survive, which I think is fucking insane. Like I remember going in Beijing and I wanted to enter Tiananmen Square, and you need to make an appointment one day ahead, and the only way that you can make an appointment is online through WeChat. And I'm like, what about tourists? I don't know. Like I come here, I come here on a plane. I want to walk around like I'm 2 weeks in Beijing for some sort of a business trip or some shit like that. Why do I have to get inside your entire ecosystem? Because like when you go on WeChat, Chinese law mandates it's real name verification. I have to give them a picture of my face, my passport, my this, that, and the other. They have to go through everything.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Anything centralized is very problematic, right? For that reason.
Centralization has the inherent quirk of having a centralized point of failure, and that really bugs the shit out of me. And I don't like that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, dude. And again, because we have to, as I mentioned earlier, we're becoming dumber as human beings. Like we don't have to. we don't have to fight as much. We don't have to hunt enough, but we still have to be healthy. So it's funny, like going to like when I look at gyms, it's kind of like you're an astronaut and you have to exercise because you want to survive in outer space because of the loss of gravity.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's a
saying?
good
So like
analogy.
that's what gyms are to me. It's kind of silly, but it is what it is. I mean, we've gotten so far out of our element. We have these things called gymnasiums. You know what I mean? Yeah,
No, I know exactly what you mean. And
it's
do
pretty
do you do
bizarre,
you
man.
frequent the gym? Do you frequent the gym?
I
Do you go to
mean,
the gym?
honestly, bro, honestly, I do weight training. I just do my own like body weight training. I do calisthenics. I don't want to get
No.
super bulky. I'm not trying to get big. I just want to get relatively healthy. Cardio. I do push-ups, sit-ups, the basics. I want to get a pull-up bar so I can focus more on pull-ups. But right now I'm doing like pipe push-ups where you have to like you're on the bench. You could be using on the bench. Your legs are on the bench, and you could like do incline and decline. And then there's one where you like literally put your head has to be pointed towards the ground, like parallel to the ground,
Mhm.
and you do like you focus on your shoulders. They're called pipe push-ups. It's painful but very
I
useful.
think
Yeah,
I
because I
think I'm familiar with
because I
that.
was honestly, brother, when I was in best shape of my life, it was right after basic training, and all we did was just calisthenics and hit or HIT, high interval training. I'm fine. I'm
Mhm.
good, man. I'm not trying to get like super bulky and shit. I don't care. I just want to be just healthy. I don't want to have problems when I get older. I don't want to have back problems. I don't want to have like
Yeah,
a
well,
fucking
like
hunch
that's the
when I
thing.
get older. Yeah. Stretching is
I don't
important.
know. Me and my missus, we have letting ourselves go since we had this, and like I
Oh man.
feel like I'm gaining more weight by the day, and I have to I
Yeah,
have to
bro.
do something
Yeah.
about it because it's getting too much. I mean, I don't have titties yet, but I have a tummy, and it's the biggest tummy I've ever had ever in my fucking life.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
disturbing.
No, dude, I'm telling you, bro. If you're like consistent, because this is what I do. I haven't done it in a while. I've been lazy since I've been moving down here. But when I was working at Tesla, I was working out every day. All I did, dude, when I wake up, do a 45-minute workout and I take a shower and I go to work easy. And I looked very good. I looked relatively like appealing, but also felt good as well.
See, I
'Cause I
gotta
did,
say, I
yeah.
really don't care about especially at this age. I'm married. I don't really plan on. Well, you can't really plan for these things, but I don't really plan on getting divorced or stepping outside in order to impress other ladies. So, like, I'm ultimately not really concerned with how I look, but I am
Okay.
really concerned health wise because I'm
Okay.
from a family of bad backs, really bad backs.
Oh, so
So
that
this is
means you
why I
got to
need.
work on your core. You definitely got to do
Yep.
core exercises.
Yes, yes,
So
yes,
and
yes.
so, bro, I'm telling you, YouTube's great. So there's so many. I follow. There's this. I forgot this dude's name, but I followed his videos. There's so many like core exercises you can challenge yourself. And the thing about the core exercise, you have to do variations. And I do like a 30-minute core exercise, and the rest 15 minutes I just do push-ups and squats. Well, those 30 minutes, bro, it's the high interval training. It's called HIIT. You only rest for a minute, and you go back to another movement. Okay. So what I was
Uh-huh.
doing early, I was doing these core exercises are fucking hell. It is hell on earth, my friend. But my God, you become stronger, right? You got to push yourself. That's the thing. It's a lot of people. That's why people don't like to exercise because it's not the path of least resistance. You're literally just climbing up a fucking hill. So you got to challenge yourself, right? So what I do is like I do like a 45, actually a minute of straight movement. You don't stop. You keep going for a whole minute of one movement. You rest for a minute, and you go back and you start doing the other movement for a minute straight. So you do like leg raises, you do crunches, you do candle push-ups where you like it's hard to tell you explain it, but on audio. But you got to like a candle push-up or sorry, a candle sit-up is where you gotta like lift your legs straight up into the air and
No,
like the
no, I
top
know what
back.
that is. I know what that is.
Yeah, so you got to do all these movements, dude. Like you got so every minute you change up the variation, and you do it so many variations as much as you can for like I think it takes like 30 minutes, bro. I'm dead, dude. I'm dead after that shit. Only for 45 minutes. I'm freaking my core is hurting like crazy. It's on fire, and then I do push-ups and then squats after that, and
I
then take a
exhaust
shower.
pretty quickly. I
Yeah,
exhaust
yeah,
pretty quickly, dude.
yeah, dude. We all do. We all do. And if you and it's funny, like because you do it for a minute. So take your time. Focus on form. Don't put, don't rush it. Just focus. Form is so important, right? So, for example, when I first started, I could do like 15 or 30, like 15 or 20 reps of a certain movement, right, within that minute.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's a lot better to just take your time and do a good like squeeze the fucking muscles, man. When you're like the muscles, and you got to do a perfect form. Just focus on form and squeezing. Doesn't matter how many reps, right? But the
Right.
more you do it, I got to the point where I was doing like 45 reps of every movement, dude. Fuck. And
Damn.
I mean, I could definitely see like my six pack forming. It wasn't like coming out, but you could see it a little bit. It was good, and you feel good. You feel really good. That's important. Honestly, that's what I care about. And you look, but you don't look weird when you have your clothes on. You actually look, it fits your body well, and that's it. You feel like 100%. Yeah.
That
I mean,
hasn't
gym
happened to me in a
for
while.
because like weightlifting. Honestly, if you want to gain bigger muscles, I mean, it's fine if that's what your goal is. But calisthenics is all you need, to be honest, man. If you
No,
just want
I
to be
do not
relatively
wanna.
healthy.
I do not want to look like Brad Pitt in Fight Club. I do not want to look like a walking wardrobe. I do not want to. It's not about appearance for me. It's about health and
Yeah.
longevity. That's the only thing.
Well,
I need
yeah.
endurance in order so like because I exhaust very quickly, my God.
Cycling
And
helps
I'm
too,
part.
brother. Cycling
Well,
helps a
that's what I
lot.
do. That's the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
thing that I do. But it's not uphill or
Yeah.
downhill. It's just cycling.
Yeah. Get your heart pumping for like, yeah, do it for like an hour straight. But that's the thing. That's the cool thing about these calisthenic exercises, because dude. It felt like you're running a mile and shit because you're constantly moving. I'm beat, dude. I'm so freaking dead after that session. And yeah, if you do it daily, like at least 5 times a week, man, and just take a break, or you're fine, dude. You're good. You don't. I mean, if it more, I think it's better because again, it's only 30 minutes, so I think it's recommended to do it every day. Get your heart pumping, because that's all it is. You want to get your blood moving, because being stationary is a problem.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck, man. Don't tell me about it. Jesus, I need
So
to
I don't
move
want to.
more.
I don't want to get fucking. Dude, I'm terrified of getting strokes. I'm scared of drinking soda now because of that. Fucking stroke. My grandfather had a stroke. I have on both sides of my family. I think my on my maternal side, my grandfather had a stroke, and then my paternal side, one of my aunts, she had a stroke. Fuck, I'm scared of that shit.
Yeah, but like, what was your diet like?
What do you mean, her diet, their
No,
diet?
no, no. Their diet, their diet.
Their diet? I mean, well, yeah, they drink soda a lot. Yeah. My
Shit.
grandfather in the 70s, he was still riding bicycles, which is kind of cool. But he lived in his 80s. He got to his 80s, 80 something when he passed away. My aunt, on the other hand, she was relatively young, dude. I think it was either it was a stroke or a brain hemorrhage. It's one of the two. I think it could have been. I think no, actually, it was a brain hemorrhage. My bad. An aneurysm. Is that what it's called? I don't know how that's caused, by the way, because I think Bruce Lee had a brain aneurysm. So
Yeah,
that should
see, I
just
don't know that.
that's just kind of scary. So that means you could go anytime if so that's, yeah, kind of scary. And my father had type 2 diabetes, but I think but because he was a car mechanic for 30 years, it's a lot of stress. 'Cause I think diabetes, it's your diet, of course, but also it's just how much stress you're under. You're under a lot of stress. Because I know some doctors say, I don't know if it's accurate or not, but I think the stress factor is debilitating.
No,
Like
I'm sure that contributes greatly. Yeah.
like immune disease too. My mother had arthritis because she was in a shit ton of stress. Immune disease is not a joke. Is that what's called, like the a weak immune systems, and the body starts attacking itself.
Yeah.
Immunodeficiency, yeah, or immunodisease. That arthritis happens, or lupus. That is the worst, dude. So yeah.
It's
So
never lupus. That's what House used
it's
to say. It's never lupus.
you saw that
Sorry.
show, huh?
Just
That's a show, right? That's a good MD type of
yeah,
show.
yeah. I really fucking love that one. It's funny. It's great. Not really
Yeah,
informative
you
because I
like
didn't
that
really
stuff, but
follow the cases.
did you like what was it? I never watched Scrubs, and I heard that was a great show.
I've never
Um,
watched Scrubs either. I don't fucking like it. I don't
what?
know. There are certain types of humor that I don't really follow along. Like I don't like juvenile humor. I
Yeah,
don't like you might be shocked, but I don't really like The Office.
It's too silly. It's too loony, right? Yeah, it's kind of like
No,
low.
I don't know. I don't know. It's the way that they try to present themselves. I've seen both the British one and the American one. I've seen a couple of episodes of that. It just
Ricky
didn't
Gervais.
click with me. Yeah.
Yeah, people loved it. It was cool. Like my brothers and or their spouses, they're all about it. I'm like, whatever. I'm not. Maybe I'm just too. I saw some couple episodes, but for me, it's like very low class type of comedy. It's just me. It's too.
There we go. I think that's a nice way of putting it. It's low class comedy. I think I can probably say the same thing about this one.
I'm more like
Like
a George Carlin type of guy. Like makes you think a bit, or Dave Chappelle or George Carlin comedy.
yeah, but like that
Yeah, more.
stand up, that stand up, that's different. I'm talking about sitcoms and I'm talking about like comedy shows.
I'm not a big fan of sitcoms, to be honest. The ha ha ha, it
Well,
has
I
the
see.
audience and as the laughter.
It's not that I guess I am. I guess I am. But
You
it's
like
more of
Friends?
the
I don't like
olden
Friends.
shows. I fucking hate Friends. I do not like. I feel it's very
That's what I mean.
forced.
It's hard to watch that. It's hard to watch that.
Yeah, but the thing is, here's the thing. I love Frasier.
Okay, okay. Maybe it's the type of sitcom you're watching. I'm trying to think of a good sitcom. I don't know, man. Frasier's good. That's CBS, right? That's like the more intellectual type of show.
Before Game of Thrones, Frasier had the most awards.
Oh,
It
really?
had the
Damn.
most. Yeah. It had the most. I think this is something that I really didn't know for the longest time. I got introduced to Frasier from television in 2000. When was it? 2009. I think I was dating a girl at the time, and she's like, "You want to watch the Frasier?" And I go, that rings a bell. What is that? What is that?" And we started watching a couple of episodes. She had downloaded some pirated version with Croatian subtitles on it, probably like a screen grab or some shit like
Nice.
that. We
Nice.
watched that, and I found because like for stuff that I really like, I want like a collector's item, like a box set or some shit like that. And I found one dirt cheap. Probably one of the first things I ordered off of eBay was Frasier's box set DVDs, and they're still here around there somewhere. Although I have all of that digitized, and I watch Frasier daily. I watch it daily because I think it's I don't know how to describe it, but it has really cleverly thought out dialogue. It's for a lot of the stuff, it's timeless because like I don't like a lot of the shows are topical and they discuss daily events like this. They would discuss current events. These things don't age well. So like you won't be able like I don't know if you watch it 20 years down the road and you want to introduce it to your friends or to your children or your family or whatnot. It's like it's not going to translate well. And like for example, I can send you just a stupid episode of Frasier it'll make you bust a gut laughing, and it's I think it's the only political episode, and the way that it's made, you don't know whether it's Democrat versus Republican. I mean, you can probably take a guess, but the thing is, like the moral of the episode is not whether Democrats or Republicans are better. It's the protagonist of the show looks like a fucking clown. It looks like an idiot. The whole politics aspect of it is just a device to get the character from a position of arrogance to a position of humility because he kind of embarrasses himself. It's a really fucking funny episode. It's a great fucking episode, and it's timeless. You can watch it in 1994 and 95 when it was made. You can watch it in 2025. It's still fucking hilarious because it's timeless. Those are the type of shows that I like. Another hot take is, which is pretty controversial, but I'm still gonna stay on this. I know you might have been a horrible person, but I like the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
Now, Bill Cosby has been dragged through courts. If he's done horrible things to these women, I hope he gets the justice that he. I mean, I hope he gets the penalty that he deserves. But like, I think it was either his biography or I'm not sure if I've read his biography or I watched a presentation about it. But I remember saying a line because he didn't really have a functional family with his wife and with his children. I think one of his sons was a producer on the show. He said, "I didn't have a perfect family growing up." Apparently, he had a very abusive father. He didn't really have his own perfect family, but he said, "I'm going to have a perfect family in this TV show." And this is what he portrayed. He got a lot of flack from the African American community in the US for not accurately portraying the black family. But like, what's the big idea? He reached an audience in Eastern Europe. We watched him. Me and my mom used to regurgitate a lot of lines from his shows. We would, we had our own inside jokes that were based off of the Cosby Show. And I don't know, like older sitcoms is probably what I like because I think back in the day, I think they wrote them better. Right? As with everything, I don't know. Music back then was better. Movies back then were better. Shows were better. I don't know. They didn't have a lot of special effects. They didn't have a lot of good post processing, but it had a much. I don't know. Writing was much better.
Well, yeah, it also depends. I mean, that's true. It's really hard to find a current TV show that's really good, like The Wire, or I think The Wire is one of the best TV shows ever made. Stuff like that. Unfortunately, I didn't grow up watching The Cosby Show. I don't know why. I maybe because I only had like regular antenna TV. I didn't even have cable growing up. Maybe that's why. So I don't have all the channels. So I only watch what
Uh,
was only available. Yeah. I couldn't get like Fox, like I
yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
watch The
yeah, yeah.
Simpsons I couldn't watch The Simpsons for a while. For example, I was like missing out and shit. The only thing I watched was like on ABC, and they had like Family Matters and Full House and Stranger Things, all these sitcoms. They also had Friends at the time. I watched it, but I never caught on. I never got caught into. I never really, dude. I never watched Seinfeld. People love Seinfeld,
Honestly,
apparently.
I haven't seen that one yet. I'm
I
sure
heard
it's a
it's like a
pretty good
really good show.
show.
I heard it's funny and
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I know
Have
the whole
you
big gimmick.
heard or have you heard the show All in the Family?
Ooh, it's like a '90s. Is it
I
'90s,
think
'80s?
it's late 70s. I think it's late 70s.
Oh no, I haven't watched that. It rings a bell. Is it considered a really good show?
The main character in that show is a character called Archie Bunker. Archie
Okay,
Bunker are you familiar with the character?
yeah, I heard his name. I don't know exactly,
You've
but
heard
always
his
he's
name.
like always referenced. He's always referenced Archie Bunker.
Eric
Yeah.
Eric Cartman is modeled after him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you know how foul-mouthed Eric Cartman is.
Yeah.
I've only seen the first season of All in the Family. I have the entire collection on DVD somewhere stashed away. I don't know,
It's in the
but
'70s, huh? Oh, wow.
the first could be 70s or 80s. I'm not really sure.
That's
It's all in
OG.
one room in the living room. I think his daughter has like a liberal boyfriend, and this guy, he's a traditional, and he's dealing with like his hippie future son-in-law or some shit, like a guy with long hair and a mustache and a beard. I don't remember. I've seen this a long time ago, but I gotta say, it's pretty fucking fun. It's pretty funny, and this guy is ruthless. He's merciless towards the lefties and all the shit that's now going back. I think you're gonna like him. I think you're gonna like him if you have time watching it. Episodes are short, and the wife is not that much of an airhead. She has her own snap to comebacks too. Pretty good. The last show of that caliber was like Last Man Standing with the guy that did I think his name is Tim Allen. He had a voice role in Toy Story. He's like one of the last, masculine fathers.
Home Improvement. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I watched
Okay.
that show. That was pretty funny. That was a good show.
And they
Actually,
canceled him. They got him back and they ruined it.
why did they cancel him again? It was some sort of
Because he was, I don't know, but some people say because the show was too conservative and too popular, and they couldn't have that.
really? Oh, that was a good
Yep,
show, actually.
I'm talking about Last Man Standing, not Home Improvement.
Oh, my bad. Last Man Standing. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, they canceled and they brought him back on. It's not the same. And this is and is it on Netflix or what it is on what platform?
I don't know. For me, it was on the Pirate Bay because we don't get those channels here. Sorry, we don't get
Yeah.
those channels here.
No, that's fine. It's kind of funny how you said it. It's just funny the way you said it.
Well, look, this is like here's the thing.
Yeah.
Now we have Netflix. Now you can buy HBO and like, there's Macedonian subtitles and shit. But man, back in the day, we didn't have any of that. We did not have any of that. So, piracy is, I think it still is a big thing. I mean, thankfully now I can afford a lot of stuff. I don't watch a lot of media, but if I'm going to watch a lot of media, my wife is going to be like, you have a smart TV, you download HBO Max, you download the app, you download everything, so you can watch the shows in glorious 4K on the television. With the way that it's meant to be consumed. I'm not even sure if there's like a Game of Thrones Blu-ray. We're now me and my wife are going through The Sopranos right now, and we're watching them on because The Sopranos is from HBO. We're watching them on HBO, right? We're not like I'm not pirating because right now, actually, now it's affordable to do so. But back then, we didn't have like first of all, you don't have those channels here. Nobody imports them, nobody buys them, nobody really follows that shit. So you're either going to pirate it or you're just not going to get it. It's one of those two. So many people chose to pirate. So we had like a very large informal network of people getting all kinds of video games, software, shows. And I was one of these people. I dumped most of that stuff. I still keep some of them, but I had these large leather folders with like DVD slips inside them. And in these large folders, I have pirated TV shows, movies, software, photos from holidays and vacations, and these are DVDs and DVD. Like a one-sided
Oh, yeah,
DVD
the
is
rings.
4.7. Yeah, like you have like back in the day, one season was like 22 to 24 episodes, right? Depending on which
Yeah.
show you have. Now, like a season is like 10 to 12 episodes. I don't know. But there were more
Yes.
back then. And you can record a season on two DVDs. If an episode is 350 megabytes or some shit, and something like that. And like I knew a lot of people that were hoarding data. And there was this guy, let's call him Nicky. He's in Chicago now, I think. This guy had satellite TV at home. He had literally had like a satellite dish and a satellite receiver, and he would get all those channels.
Oh,
This guy had an entire shelf, like an entire fucking bookshelf of these leather pouches, like and inside like a leather catalog, you put like 150 DVDs. And
yeah, I
this
remember
guy would
those.
record.
Yeah.
He would record TV show after TV show after
Wow.
TV show, burn them on DVDs, and stack them away. This guy's Excel sheet with just text, right? No images, no nothing. Just the text on an older Excel format was in the megabytes simply because of how much
Oh,
data this guy had.
wow. Just Excel
Yeah,
spreadsheet, huh? Damn. That's a library, dude. My
it
God.
is. It is. It's a fucking digital library. One guy from a different city. He's from the Teto. His nickname was Vortex. He ran a heavy metal bulletin board called MK Metal. This guy, I think, because I've never met him, but I've heard stories about him. This guy worked for an internet service provider, and you know what that means, right? Free fucking download. This guy had the largest music collection in the country, probably in the fucking region. This guy had so much music. Like all he spent, all of his time was spent on downloading fucking music. I mean, right now
Wow.
we take a music collection for granted because you have streaming services like Netflix, or sorry, not Netflix, like Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube Music or whatever. But back in the day, like owning a certain album was, I don't know, it was you were high status if you had a lot of data stored away. And unfortunately, I don't know, fortunately or unfortunately, I still operate that way. I don't mind like ordering Blu-rays and having them delivered for a certain symbolic price, but like I like owning the shit I buy. Like I would much prefer to buy, I don't know, name any show. I'd much prefer to pay $20 to get the digital download, but for me to download it and store it on my machine as opposed to have like to pay for the rights to stream it. That really bugs the shit out of me. And I think I've seen a bunch of video essays recently talking about how piracy is coming back simply because of the bad practices that Netflix and everybody else is doing.
Oh, most definitely. I could see that. Most definitely. Yeah, that's kind of cool, man, because you're giving me like nostalgia talking about this. Because we used to do the same stuff. When it was Napster was mainly for MP3s, but we used Morpheus to and then we used remember, did you remember LimeWire? Is that still even running?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if it's running, but I remember LimeWire. Do you guys
Morpheus,
remember Emule?
Azurus, Emule, yeah, of course.
Because Emule ran its own protocol and it was peer to peer. And afterwards, BitTorrent came. But I think
Oh,
the Chinese have their own like derivative that uses the EMUL protocol, and they have an insane amount of piracy going on there. I remember the first time I went there, my Chinese girlfriend, like, I used to ridicule people like paying for piracy, and this is what they were doing. So for like $5 a month, you have access to this large network of, I think the platform is called Finlay or something like that. And you can fucking find everything and anything. And because China's internet connections to the rest of the world is pretty bad, even if you want to access a website that's hosted in, I don't know, let's say in Moscow. If you want to access that one, it's not blocked by the Great Firewall of China, but it takes a long fucking time to load. But
oh yeah,
everything inside of China loads just like that within a blink of a
instantaneously.
fucking eye. Yes,
Oh, wow.
because their internal network infrastructure is really strong. And I remember I actually looked up Frasier when I went to China, and they have episodes, and the Chinese have this really because ever since with the advent of TV, I think they have it mandated by law is that if you're going to publish anything, it has to be published with burnt-in subtitles, right? There have to be subtitles in it. And the way that the Chinese sub anything or everything, they will sub it in the native language, and then they will sub it in simplified Chinese. So if you watch an English show, it has English and Chinese subtitles. If you watch a Spanish show, it has Spanish and Chinese subtitles. So Frasier had both English and Chinese. And like I downloaded all this stuff and it was fucking great. And you would find out about
Mm.
these networks that, they would pay like, just graduates outside that, that they finish college, they get a bachelor's in English translation and interpretation, and they would pay them translating gigs. Like you have the English subtitle translated into Chinese, and you will pay this amount of money. And this is how pirated TV shows get subtitles over there. Like they have a really fucking strong network about these things because it's so many people, and I think there's way to monetize piracy. I don't know how it works over there. I haven't really asked around, but it's still pretty big there, and it's
You
probably
know,
still pretty big here. Go ahead, go ahead.
no, 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 no. That's kind of, man, you're really giving me like the 1990s or late 90s, early 2000 vibes because piracy was big in the States during that time, way big.
No,
This
I
before
know, and
Spotify. Yeah.
the federales parachuted into the equation, and right now you can't torrent anything. But like, I think there are fucking ways around it.
You still
Anyways,
can. You still can,
yeah, I
but
have.
yeah.
I didn't bring it. I didn't bring it, but in China, in our apartment, we have a home server, a home media server. Here, I have one that's like 12 terabytes, but in China, I got 96 terabyte home server, and I store a bunch of shit on it. TV shows, movies. I have a large collection of ebooks. All our photos from all our smartphones are in there. Our videos or everything, data.
Freaking
Like
server, bro. You set up a whole
it's
server in your
yeah, yeah,
house.
yeah.
Yeah. That's so dope. I think one of my
Well,
friends did that setup. Yeah. He did a setup like that
there's
in his
a
house
there's
too.
this program which you can set it up like you have a server version and a client version. So we have this program called Jellyfin, and with Jellyfin you can basically stream. It's like a home Netflix whole setup, and it has like this program has a feature like for example if you load it up with I don't know the first season of what let's say Jack Bauer's 24. If you load it up, the program will automatically download all of the actor information, all of the episode information, and if you wanted to, it can also download subtitles for you, which I really
Wow.
appreciate. I've been watching because we're not native English speakers. We didn't have any budgets for voiceover here in Macedonia, so I've been used to watching shows with subtitles for the entirety of my life, and it's the same thing with my wife. So we have all of the shows that we want to watch on that server, either it's books or photos, and you have these programs that let you run everything. I also have software for synchronization. So, for example, while I was still there, do you use Obsidian? Have I talked to you about Obsidian, or was it just
I
Daniel?
mentioned it before. Yeah, you mentioned it's like a
Yeah.
separate brain. It's like your second brain, right?
It's a note-taking application which you can catalog, you can categorize with keywords, with hashtags and shit like that. So I have a synchronization server for Obsidian on my home server here
Wow.
and back in China. And if I make a note on my phone, it's immediately on all of my other devices. And you can do that with contacts, you can do that with your calendar, you can do that with everything. So, like when they say a home server, it's not really a home server in the sense of use it for storage, but you have these services which you can use to replace all of these corpo services that you quote unquote get for free, but they're used to harvest your data.
Ah, I
I've told
see.
I mentioned it. I mentioned multiple times. I love my privacy. I value my privacy.
I
I'm
agree
really
with that.
aggressive. I get really aggressive with people that aim their phone towards my kid. Right? Like I don't want anybody taking my photo because like over here while I'm still here, I have contacts with lawyers, and I don't want anybody taking photos of my kid. If they do, I'm going to call up Mr. Zvonko, and Mr. Zvonko is going to press charges. Because
No,
while
fine.
I was working with a journalist, we were told without explicit permission of the parent, you cannot take photos and you cannot publish photos of other of minors, right? You don't get to do that fucking here.
Yeah, dude.
And like in China, it's a whole different thing. But like I don't know the system there. And like me applying these services onto my home server, it's an extra step for me to enhance my own privacy. Because on the phone, on the smartphone that I use, I swap out the actual operating system with an AOSP version, which doesn't have Google integration. So like all of my contacts are local, my calendar is local. It doesn't synchronize with Google services. I use YouTube, but the way that I use YouTube is you have to install a special application called MicroG, and this might get me banned on. This might cause some trouble with the YouTube algorithm. We'll see. I don't know. Let's hope it doesn't cause. But like this is how I circumvent that whole requirement for like Google framework. But like everything else, I try to run locally without handing my data over to look as much as possible. Like there's always going to be some data that's going to go to them, but this way it minimizes it greatly.
And that's awesome how you're doing that because people don't
If you're
understand what's really
interested,
happening.
if you're interested, I can give you a tour on how this works and for you to set it up because it's really dirt cheap to set this up. You can, I don't know, do you have like a computer that's 10 years old? Because that'll do.
I mean, eventually, I don't have my own. I'm still renting like apartments and shit.
No, I
Eventually,
know,
gonna
I
move. I'm
know,
not
I
gonna
know.
settle. But once I get there, yeah, of course, man. I would like to get that. That'd be so sick. Because you reminded me of my buddies. One of my coworkers in the Air Force. He was all about that. That's the first time I noticed somebody setting up a private server in their house. And he's talking about SSH or SHing into the server or something like that, or a remote place. And he was talking about you run it under Linux Mint or some shit. And I
Yeah.
remember he found yeah, and it's really cool, like, only on Linux. You don't really need, which is pretty dope. You don't really need, like, off like, freaking Windows. I'm not a big fan of Windows, man. I really not anymore, because I need to get into Lin I really need to get into Linux, bro. It's getting freaking out of control with this new update. With this I'm not a big fan of Windows 11. It's freaking ridiculous. Anyways, yeah, I would love to have that, man. That was so sick because I remember him, like, doing the same setup, like, he could like, throughout the house, you could access it you could access anything, music, movies, and, it's pretty dope, man. It's pretty dope. I think your wife would appreciate I think your wife should appreciate that. Did she was she shocked? Was she, like, shocked when you first, did that for her? Or did she even
No,
understand? I
but
mean, I don't know.
like no.
Yeah.
She did understand. She has her own iPad mini and she has like can you get me my show? And the thing is like for Chinese shows, she has her own platforms and she watches that stuff. And like, all right, fine. Like I'm like, let's just download them and you don't have to pay for them. And she's like, well, no, I like this because like there's a really annoying feature that a lot of Chinese people use is like while you're watching the show,
Uh-huh.
there's an option for the comments to scroll, which I
Oh.
find really fucking annoying. But my wife
Yeah,
really
yeah, I hate
appreciates
that.
that because
Yeah,
she
I never
says like
got
it
that.
makes you
I never
feel
got that. I never got
she said
that.
it makes you feel like you're socializing with others because everybody's commenting on that particular scene, right?
Is that what that
And like
is?
people are sharing. I
I
guess
never
so.
understood that. That shit's
I don't
annoying. I turn
fucking
it
know,
off
but
every
that
time.
really fucking annoys. Yeah.
I turn it off every time. It's fucking annoying. Yeah.
But
Okay.
the thing is, the way that the why my wife appreciates this is it's zero hassle, and like
Mm.
a lot of the shows do not reach those platforms because nowadays China's actually playing along with the game of copyright infringement, so they don't allow piracy to stream on, like, I don't know, like, because before, when I came in 2013, before they wiped it, you can watch Frasier for free on Bilibili without a paid subscription
Wow.
or anything like that. Right. And after a
Wow.
while, that had to go. So you had to pirate it. And like some of the shows just don't reach. And my wife's like, honey, can you get the show? Honey, can you get that show? Honey, can you get that show? I get that show. I put it on a home server. I put it on Jellyfin. She has the Jellyfin client application on her iPad. She loads it up. Like it has all of the subtitles necessary. Sometimes she prefers to watch with Chinese subtitles if it's too highbrow, if she's actually focused on it, or if she wants to watch something in the background while she's working. Yeah, either no subtitles or English subtitles. Sometimes there's like dubbed audio, like multiple audio tracks. She can swap into that one. She plays it on it, and like it works fine. My work computers have this feature where I synchronize my data both on the local machine and on the server in case of data loss, right? If something happens on my current machine and I lose some of my data, all of my data is backed up on the servers as well. So that is really beneficial.
So
So
you're
just
getting me. You're trying to get me to get back into IT. I haven't done IT in a minute, man. I don't know how much has
Dude,
changed.
it's IT. Well, a lot of things are changing, but there's a lot of stuff that's really, I don't know. Dealing with IT, it's really rewarding. For me, it's I'm getting kind of sick of it. I'm trying to get out of it. I'm really trying to get out of it because it's the same regurgitating shit, and I'm
You're getting burnt
too
out, huh?
old to get
Yeah.
into, yeah, I'm too old to get into to AI and all the, and it just doesn't really interest me. I have an ethical and philosophical issue against it, and this is why I don't want to get into it, even though it might
Fair
lead to
enough.
more money. But yeah, but it's I don't know. It's just one of those things that
Do you
it's
think?
pretty
Do you?
rewarding if you want to get into it, and like home server maintenance if you want to get into like like Internet of Things. If you want to automate your air con, you can put like extensions on it. You can do all kinds of crap.
So there's still a big demand for it. Because I did,
There.
when I was, yeah, because when I was Air Force, I mainly did the basic shit. I was like first tier, basic, fix emails, fix, like email problems or hook up a new client system, they call it,
Yeah.
splitting cables, setting up servers, basic shit, like first tier stuff. But remote work, I'm not that too like familiar with, like all remote type of administration. I never really had that much experience with that. I did have
If
some of it, yeah.
it is easy to pick up. And the beautiful thing now in 2025, as opposed to 2005, 2006, when I was getting into it, now there is an exorbitant amount of documentation that is going to help you set everything up. Even if you're like tech literate or tech illiterate, all you have to do is just follow along with the guides and you can set it up. And like for some things I'm very proficient, but for a lot of things I get really rusty, like I don't know, setting up the proper file system on my hard drives, because if you're gonna use 6 hard drives on a system, you need to set up the file system so you have something like a software RAID solution. And
Yeah,
I've
the
only done
raids.
that
Yeah.
twice. I've only done that twice.
Yeah, that
And
one's a mystery. That was always a mystery to me because you have the options. RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 2. I forgot the
but
whole
you
meaning
have
behind the
like
raids. Yeah.
I think it's like zero, 1, and 5, and then you have combinations of both, of all of
Yeah,
them,
something
because you
like
have like 0, 1,
hybrid.
1, 0, 1, 5, 0, 5, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
No, I don't think
exactly.
there's an 0, 05. But you have multiple combinations, and you have like there are options for like software RAID, because prior to that you would buy a RAID controller, which is like this PCI Express thing that you plug into machine, and
Right.
you plug your hard drives onto that. But now there are softer options for RAID, and this is what I'm doing because I use a particular. I don't remember. I don't remember. I see. I've only done it twice. I don't even remember the name of the file system, but it gets all of your 3 hard drives into one logical partition, and this is where you can store your data. And all of my drives are new. It's not really used all that much, and if there is some loss of data, it's only going to be lost on the hard drive that you use. I don't use RAID 5. I don't use drive mirroring. I don't think there is a need. I'm not in an industrial environment, so there really isn't much need to mirror data to worry that much about data loss. And most of the important stuff is stored in multiple locations, so there's very little worry about actual data loss. But like, there's so many things, and let me tell you, if you get into it, I'd be happy to to chip in to help you out, to guide you through shit.
It's awesome.
It's ultimately very rewarding because you can get like one of those. Like, I just sent that in the chat, an Intel NUC. Open the chat here. Look at the picture.
Oh, what is that, dude?
This is the size of, like, the length and width of this is the size of two smartphones. Okay, so take your
Wow.
smartphone, put one next to it. That's the size of it. This is an Intel NUC. Okay, on this little shit inside of it, you can put 2 drives of 4 terabytes. You can use this for storage. You can use this for all kinds of shit. You can use it to synchronize all sorts of data. And this is highly portable. Attach it to your television in your apartment, whatever the hell it is you're using. This is how you can manage it. You can watch shows, you can watch whatever. You can remote into it through your smartphone. You can use your smartphone as a
Oh my
mouse and as a
god.
keyboard. Dude, I'm telling you, the possibilities are fucking endless. And this is dirt cheap. I bought mine for $100 new. You can get a second-hand one, add new
Oh, that's
drives
so
to it.
sick.
You're fucking ready. You're fucking
So
ready.
you can
It's
wait, you can
beautiful.
wait. So you can set up your little server through this. You can SSH into it,
Yes.
whatever the fuck.
Yes.
Wow.
That's, dude, you can you can SSH from your phone onto this thing. And it's
So
really
sick.
fucking rewarding. Yeah. And
So like, because dude, that's what I was so impressed with my buddy did, because he did that when we were deployed, right? And he hooked me up with his I guess he could SSH. I forgot exactly. He sent me a link to his private server, and I could just watch whatever. That was so sick,
uh-huh.
so cool. Yeah, so cool. Oh, okay. I never really had time to set it up because he just, I never really got into it. I just did my job and did other things. But yeah, I should get more into IT again. I haven't done it in a while. That'd be kinda cool, and then that's more opportunity too, if you want to do,
There
like, a
you
side gig,
go. That's
do a
right.
side
That's right.
gig
I was
too.
just about to say that.
Yeah, start off with the side gig and eventually becomes, more lucrative. Yeah.
So I guess Naeli is not going to join us. She said she might chip in. She didn't show up. Toby's
And we'll see
probably at work.
we'll see Sunday. You wanna try again Sunday or
Well,
wait
here's the
next
thing.
week?
I think I made it clear in the group that we're playing a little trip. We're leaving Monday morning, which is Sunday night for you guys. So, like, if I'm gonna be up early, I need to be up early and prepare for the trip. I can't really join you guys in the podcast because, like, we're leaving early in the morning. I want to drive while the sun is still not up, so we don't get baked. Like, it's a fucking heat wave over here. And we will be back next Monday evening. So, like, let me tell you, like, we're leaving on Monday the 14th, which is Sunday the 13th for you guys. And this is where you can probably do the podcast. And we will be back on the 21st at night. And that's Monday morning for you guys. So if you're gonna do a podcast this Sunday and the next Sunday, I won't be able to make it, and I'm sorry about that.
It's alright, brother. No worries, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the last episode, it was talking to you guys. It's all cool, and it's cool that you have different people to talk to and talk about in-depth conversations like this. I think people will like to listen to because
We gotta
this,
start
yeah,
marketing this shit, goddammit.
yeah, I know. I'm liking on that. Yeah, I gotta find like better techniques on how to make it more appealing because I know I'm the angle I'm focusing on is like language learning, like want to improve your English, or so I got to be more creative. I don't know. I got to come up with other ideas and how to
Well,
market
in
it.
that case, I have to start speaking more clearly.
Like, get out of here, bro. I have to speak more clearly. I need to because if I do want to market it to Spanish speaking and like Chinese speaking countries outside of China, yeah, I gotta play with those software that could do like the subtitles and eventually we'll dub it into a AI or auto generated voice. So see how that works. That'd be kind of cool though. It just for me, it's just how to I gotta clip a bunch of like I gotta look into copyright. You know what I'm saying? Like how I'm see this I'm not familiar with. You know how people do clips, short minute videos, but they clip all types of like
Mhm.
short scenes from movies or familiar movies or short, or pictures, like if that's
Oh,
even
well, it's
legal or
like
not.
usually it's no, 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 no. What we can do is like we can put like video game recorded sessions. I don't know, like turn on gameplay for 15 minutes and use the video from that and the audio from the podcast.
People do that. Like, yeah, I do notice that people
Exactly.
play GTA 5 or whatever. Oh yeah, okay. Something
Or
just to have some
Minecraft or
video
whatever.
playing, something in the
Yeah, there you
background.
go.
Okay. Man, but there's like, dude, there's some editors that just do such an amazing job. It's very eye-catching. But step by step, I'm not that good at it yet, but yeah, I can focus on that and start clipping and burn in subtitles with any speaking country. That'd be a fun project, I'll be honest. It'd be kind of fun to do. I just got to get on
I
it.
gotta look into that as well. I can probably come up with a couple of instructional videos, and if you're interested, I can actually guide you through how I prepare the video for everything. So, like, if I'm not here, you can probably do it. Or if you want to, if you want to branch out, do your own podcast, with, like something more dedicated for the Chinese or the Spanish market, like you'll have the skills to do it. I mean, why not? I love mentoring. I love helping people out, and
Well, I
at
mean,
the end of the day,
no,
you'll be
I'm
earning.
trying to. Oh, of course, I appreciate that, dude. But for us, like what we're trying to do, like how can we promote? Like, what's the angle? Is what I'm trying to say. It can't be language. It could be something else, or it could just be like like a specific topic that's very like controversial, right? Because we all do say
Mhm.
some controversial shit. But my concern is like, are we? I don't want us to get banned automatically off of YouTube. You know what I
Well,
mean?
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, not to worry. And if
All right,
nothing
man. I
else,
do
we got
appreciate
Rumble.
Rumble and Kick apparently.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like I don't know how you can you try and set up the whole audio podcast thingy so I can like subscribe to it from like a podcast player? Because yours and what was that Chinese kid's name
Chris?
that you had a podcast with?
Oh, Chris.
Yeah, you're a Christian
Yeah.
Portugal.
Oh, I
Like
have to get
however you set
RSS
up the,
feed.
the audio. Ah, there you go.
Set
There
up
you go. Like that's what I'm looking for.
RSS feeds. He honestly, I have to. He did it on his side. So I'll look into how to do it. It shouldn't be that difficult. We have the key is you have to have a home base. So I think our home base should be Rumble because the shit we talk about.
Yeah.
And we could do the RSS feed for off of that. I'll look into how to do it. I'll look at the instructional, and then we can put it on Spotify, Apple, whatever, all these listening platforms. So that'd be
Mhm.
cool. Yes, sir.
All right, Chucky boy, let's wrap it up here.
Yes,
Let's quit
sir.
while we're ahead, and let me know if nothing else. You guys have do an episode on Sunday night. I'm guessing Kobe will be there. Riff a little bit. Get Mikhail on. Let's try to get Ryder on. I'll talk to Ryder. I haven't seen him online in a
More
while,
than
but he's a pretty
more the
interesting young
merrier.
fellow. Yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be
it'd be
great.
fun.
And
Yeah, it's good to have Mike. It's good to have Mike because Mike is in his 20s. Right,
we
I'm assuming
might get
Ryder's in
another
his
chick
20s.
though. We might get another chick,
Even
and
better. Good.
yeah,
Good.
yeah. It's always better to hear a different perspective from him. I spoke to her the other day. She's very nice to talk to, very lovely lady, and I think she'll be an interesting addition to the show.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, appreciate that.
All right, mate.
I'll catch you
I
later.
stop this thing.